Kate Kallot, a leading figure in AI and climate tech, made a significant impact at the World Economic Forum in Davos, 2024, as part of the Climate Scale-Up cohort. As the founder and CEO of Amini.ai, she highlighted the importance of precise environmental data for sustainable development and climate resilience in Africa. Kallot's insights into AI and satellite technology underscored their role in informed decision-making and supply chain transparency. At Davos, she engaged with global leaders and innovators, exploring partnerships to further Amini.ai's mission of closing Africa's environmental data gap and driving economic inclusivity.
Kate, welcome to Davos. Please tell me about Amini.
We're an environmental data company based out of Africa in Nairobi, solving for Africa's environmental data scarcity.
And why are you focusing on data?
Because data is the start of every major economic transformation. Data creates trust, trust creates transparency, and transparency accelerates investments. So for us, we decided that if we go about solving Africa's environmental data scarcity, in 5 years down the line, you will see a much different Africa that you see today. Why environmental data? Because 60% of our population are smallholder farmers. Africa represents 65% of the world's uncultivated fertile land, which makes it very important when you think about food security. Most of the coffee you drink today and most of the chocolate you eat actually comes from Africa. So environmental data, it is the most critical type of data that is needed for the continent. And today it's still extremely scarce.
And how do you tie that environmental data to climate change?
Once you have the data, now you can start understanding what is happening. So you apply AI machine learning with built foundation model that help us understand geospatial data, fusion it with ground truthing, understand and generate insights based out of that data. And then one step further, you can go towards regenerating natural capital, because once you have data, you can track soil improvement, you can understand the patterns of climate change, if there's going to be extreme rainfall, extreme floodings in specific regions of the continent. And now you can start predict, but also adapt to it.
You're spending this week at Davos. Tell me what you're trying to get out of this week here.
So out of this week, we're trying to meet with corporate. And I always say that my mission this week is to avoid doomsday. What do I call doomsday? There are a lot of regulations coming for large corporates. Think about any commodity trader, large corporates, food and beverage companies, cosmetic companies, fashion companies, regulations coming from the EU and from the US, which is forcing them for the first time to understand really the first mile of their supply chain, understand the quality of the soil, prove that the area they are importing cocoa from has not accelerated deforestation. And I have seen recently 3 large commodity traders turning their back against Africa because of the lack of data and because they're not able to get their agri-SMEs the right tools to comply for those regulations. And if this continues, we're going right through doomsday. Let me give you an example. 70% of the world's cocoa comes from Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana, which is in Africa. Yet, most of it gets transformed in the Netherlands. 3 large European economies rely on chocolate: Netherlands, Belgium, and Switzerland, where we are today. So it is critical for us that we make sure doomsday doesn't happen by solving for that data scarcity. So today or this week, I'm ringing the alarm on doomsday and making sure that the corporate understand that there are solutions to the challenge they're seeing and they do not need to abandon the continent.
You're part of the first cohort of Climate Scale-Up. How has that experience been for you?
It's been absolutely amazing because, Davos is quite hectic and can be extremely confusing. And the Climate Scale-Up team has really helped us understand and grasp what this conference is about, but also supporting them with the right structure that we need for us to capitalize in the best way on this event. So it's been an absolute pleasure, and also connecting with fellow founders, MIT professors. For me, it's just a privilege because, there's not much Africa presence. I wouldn't have had this opportunity to come to Davos today if it was not for the Climate Scale-Up team. So for me, it's been absolutely amazing. And I hope that in the following cohort, you always get an African company or startup to also come to Davos.
Is there anything else that you want to say to the world about your company or Climate Scale-Up?
Make sure we avoid doomsday, please.
All right. Thank you very much.
What's money? Money.
On it.